Hello, my name is Exiled, and today I'll be talking about why Destiny 2 is worth the money in 2019. So let's begin. To begin with, I just want to apologise for the really trash gameplay. I don't normally play this bad, but because of, let's just say, I just don't seem to play that well when recording. So that's not great. In the future, I will just record whilst I am playing and hope for the best. To begin, my background with Destiny. I played Destiny year 1 of Destiny 1 all the way through to year 3, and Destiny 2 from year 1 to year 2, which is the current year that we are in. So why is the game worth the £35 it's currently at, which I believe is about $30 or $25, $27 in America? But when it comes to its overall content, you're getting a base game, 2 not great DLCs, and then 1 really good DLC, which is Forsaken, which is the main reason for paying for this. Forsaken by itself is £30, so essentially you're paying for Forsaken, then £5 is towards the base game and the 2 DLCs. So I'm just going to explain what you get from each DLC and what the actual story is from each one, and besides Forsaken, because I don't want to ruin it for anyone who is going to be buying it for the first time. So what you're getting from the base game is a Cabal leader called Ghoul. He is the leader of the Red Legion. He believes that the Traveller shouldn't have gone to Earth and chosen the Guardians to be the Guardians, essentially, and he wants the power all for himself, which he does eventually do by the end of the game, and you do end up fighting him and he has some of the abilities that the Guardians have, but not the full extent. But to be honest, for a base game, compared to Destiny 1's base game, it is a massive improvement, and it's honestly, in my opinion, a better story than the 2 DLCs that came after. You eventually end up having to fight the Cabal leader slash king called Callus. He's on his Leviathan, which is his throne essentially. It's just a massive ship and he has a throne area and stuff like that. It's pretty decent. It's a really cool area to be in, but in my opinion they shouldn't have made him the DLC. They should have made him a later DLC, or should have made him a boss at some point, but Ghoul should have been the main boss of the raid. Secondly, you have the first DLC, which is Curse of Osiris. He was an ex-Guardian who got kicked out the tower for learning and tampering with Vex teleportation powers, which led to the Guardians going to Mercury to enter the Endless Forest, which is where Osiris is stuck and needs your help to get out of there to save the existence of life in general, which the Vex have found a way of winning, and there is only one option for the Guardians to take. Essentially, if you've ever seen, I don't know why I'm saying essentially so much, sorry about that, what that is really is Avengers Infinity War part where Doctor Strange is like, wow, there's only one version of this where we come out on top. That's basically what it is. So there you go. In the second DLC, there is Warmind, which is about Rasputin. He is an AI that was in Destiny 1 and mentioned briefly during Destiny 2. He has control of a weapon called the Valkyrie, which you do get to use. It's basically just this massive flame spear thing, and he also is very knowledgeable. He knows a lot about the universe in general. He is an AI and he controls basically this massive substation, essentially. I need to stop saying essentially, can't handle it. Oh. But yeah, when it comes to the actual main villain of it, it's Wormgod. Wormgod is related to an extent with Crota, who you fight in Destiny 1. He is the first DLC, you fight Crota, and then you fight the Taken King, who is Oryx, who is Crota's dad, because he's come to avenge his son. And in that DLC, all I'll say is, one of the best bits is there's a mission where you go to Crota's throne and you end up basically seeing his burial. But that's not within the Warmind DLC, that is within the Taken King. But anyway, so besides that, you're fighting just a massive hive Wormgod, which, as I just said, it's a hive Wormgod. It's just this worm that has loads of black and flaky skin coming off of it. It's really... just imagine a really broody dark worm that has flaky skin and there's mystical stuff coming out the side of it. That's all you've got to see. I'll have a picture on the screen about it, but yeah. When it comes to the Forsaken DLC though, the main buy of the entire thing, what you are getting from it is a really good story, really good endgame, and really good just all-round mechanics. So, to begin with, Forsaken was made for the old players who had played Destiny 1, Year 1 and Year 2. The story kind of continues from the characters that were involved in there, which is the Awoken, and basically that's about it. So the story, without spoiling anything that's in a later game that isn't in the trailers, Cayde 6, who is the Hunter Vanguard, ends up dying and you are just there to avenge him. And this all happens within the first mission, and as well in the trailer. It's not spoiling when the trailer literally has him dying in it. So there you go. So why is Destiny 2 currently worth buying? Well, Destiny 2, according to most, but not in my full opinion, but I would say it's probably there to Taken King. A lot of people do agree. I think the mechanics, a lot of mechanics I couldn't live without, but there is also the page of me which just loves the Taken King just too much that I can't say Taken that Forsaken DLC is better. But for a lot of people, and the mass majority would say Forsaken is the best it's ever been. So why is this? Purely, again, like I said for Forsaken, there's great endgame, great storyline, and great mechanics. As I said, we are avenging Kate within this DLC, which is all about the Awoken and basically their whole story within the whole Destiny universe and lore. So the main villain is called Aldrin, and Aldrin basically is the Queen's brother. The Queen is the Queen of the Awoken, and she ends up quote-unquote dying in Destiny 1 by Oryx, the Taken King, and the brother basically blames the Guardians for the Awoken getting involved. But anyway, when it comes to an overall idea of when it comes to the story, as I said, I don't want to spoil much, but it is very good. The end game in particular, what you do get is you get access to a new area, which is somewhere where Awokens were supposed to only go to, but you're allowed to enter it no matter what race you're in. And as well, you get a great raid. The raid that I did attempt on the first day, we ended up giving up after about an hour, purely because we were really underleveled for it. We were all 540 power, expecting it to be about 550, and nope, it was 560. I would give more of an in-depth talk about the story and the experience, but to be honest, you need to experience that for yourself before you see anything from me, so I'll probably make another video at some point talking about the actual story and the whole storyline as a whole, conclude it, and talk about where they could go in the next DLC. But anyway, the end game. So in this, as I said, you get an area that's afterwards, after the actual main area of the reef, then you also get a raid. So, which is in the same area. Within the raid, you're able to get more and more story, more lore, which surrounds everything, and you understand why everything's happening. But when it comes to the actual overall extent of the game and the end game, you get the max power currently at 650. That is because of the annual pass, which I'll talk about after I've just talked about Forsaken. When it comes to actually hitting 650 though, the way you can do that, and when I say endgame, there is weekly activities that you can do, and I'll list all of them now. It is Crucible matches, Gambit matches, strikes, nightfalls, powerful bounties, public events, story missions, adventures, and a few other powerful engram drops that you can get during the week. But all of those can have a little bit of resetting during the week besides the nightfall and weekly and basically weekly strikes, Crucible and Gambit games, which means on a weekly basis you can power up by about 15 to 25 power depending on your power. That is normally from the 500 to 600 gap, then after that it'll probably be about 5 to 10 power each week. Not a massive amount, but it's because there is the whole grind. You should be grinding for everything that you're getting. It shouldn't just be fed to you basically. But it gets even better because anyone who's under power 600, like you would be if you're looking at this video and you're wanting to get Destiny, then anyone who's under power 600, you have a higher chance of powerful engrams dropping. When I say a higher chance, when I was power leveling one of my characters on PC, he ended up going from power 500 to 580 within the space of 2 weeks. So that kind of concludes the idea of Forsaken. Again, I wish I could have gone more in depth with it, but I just don't want to spoil the game for anyone, so I'll come back to it at a different time. Now, when it comes to the annual pass is something that costs £30 separately from Destiny 2. Now, I would probably say it's worth it if you're involved within Destiny anyway, so I'd advise playing Forsaken and the base game and all that, getting to know the game, and if you're still wanting to continue playing, you've done the grind, and you're not sick of it basically, and you're actually still very driven to get new stuff, get the annual pass, because this will allow you to actually unlock new weapons, basically make your game even better. When it comes to the annual pass, an annual pass is essentially a season pass from, let's say, COD or Rainbow Six Siege, which allows you to get endgame activities between DLCs, which is very helpful for people who feel like there is a lack of content during DLCs. Also, you get a weapon currently called, please don't hate me if I butcher it, Isandgi Burden, something like that. It's an exotic sniper which has a chance of basically, you can stack bullets, which means you can stack 2 bullets and shoot out of one time. And it means you can one-hit headshot people who are in roaming supers. The only bad thing is that this really isn't that effective currently, Well, it's effective currently, but it won't be that effective in about a month's time because they're going to be adding it to every single sniper in the game, where each sniper will be able to instantly one-hit headshot. What this does mean as well, though, is that you can stack up to 4 bullets in the mag. And you can stack 3 bullets, and what this allows you to do is one-hit body anyone. Now, for anyone who's a good sniper at the game, to be honest, no one's going to be doing that. They'll just be running it for literally just the audio itself. I don't have it personally, but the videos that I've seen on it and my friends, genuinely amazing. In conclusion, I would say Destiny 2 is worth for £35, but I wouldn't say going straight into the annual pass is a good idea. I would just wait a little until you're into the Destiny game and actually look more into what you get from the annual pass overall. What you're getting currently is just new stuff each week, and it's just slowly basically giving out more and more content for you to do whilst you're doing your powerful gear drops. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it gave you an idea of why you should buy Destiny 2 in its current state, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good day.